What if you could take that risk, make that change, reach that goal, live your best life? Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast, where we get together with amazing experts and everyday people who share challenges, encourage healing, and explore the possibilities that life has to offer. I'm your host, Gary Scott, and I'm excited that you're along for the ride. Welcome back to our interview with Phoenix Sohl, the author of Be Your Own Peace. And on this episode, Phoenix goes deeper into the book, her inspiration, and her love and desire for helping others. Before we get started, I just wanted to thank you again for listening in. And please, if you're enjoying our podcast, we'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, or hit the subscribe button. I'm grateful for your support. Now back to What If You Could, Episode 2 with Phoenix Sohl. The areas of the person. And you started with trauma, which I thought was very interesting, you know, because a lot of people would have been soft, like, oh, I'm going to be all rainbows and unicorns, and then I'm going to hit you with trauma. No, you go, no, girlfriend. I'm going to bring you trauma out the gate.
I'll Hey, do it. Yes,
I like that. What is that? Obviously, that had to be on purpose, right?
for sure. And the reason being is because the book is a walk through the body, the mind, and the soul. And a lot of times we don't talk about the fact that trauma is in the body, and I like to always start with body-centered practices because one is very practical, and I'm a practical spirituality. If it's all woo-woo and we can't turn it into something tangible and make it real, like it's not real for a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
So with the body, I've done just various different practices and facilitated things. And I find when we start with the body, whether that be, detoxing, whether that be exercise, whether that be meditation, you liberate energy. And as you start to liberate energy within your cells where trauma lives, you have space for other things. And then your awareness is opened and that affects the mind. So, like, I like to start with the body first. And so that was very intentional to start and access the trauma. Well, if we can, everything is energy. So if we're energy and we can get that out of our cells, get that out of our bodies, move some things out of the room, we have really all it is like, how much space do I have right now? Whether to deal with my boss who's crazy, like, but to handle all about how much space do you have and the triggers or the amount that you're able to maintain your balance and maintain your peace depends on how much space you have available. It starts with the body. We're physical, we're human.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and let's face it. I mean, when you're tied up in trauma, you're locked up, right? Your energy cannot flow if your body's locked up in trauma. And like you said, we are just energy, and our energy needs to flow. And if you're locked up, you've got bottlenecks, you're not going to flow. So everything else doesn't really matter. And that's why when I saw you open with the trauma, I'm like, that's so freaking brilliant because no one does that. Everyone starts with the flowers and rainbows. And you're like, no, 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 no. If we don't hit the trauma, if we don't knock that out, you might as well stop on page one because we're not going anywhere, right? And so I thought that was brilliant. That was really brilliant.
I mean, I have 21 days with that journal to help a person shift. So I think people meet me and they have this perception of me because my aura may be light, and I'll come in, hey, how you doing? And you know what I mean, like, and then they meet me, right? The inside of me. I'm a Sag moon too, So I'm gonna light the fire. And they're like, okay, I did not know that you were like that. Yeah, like let's get down to what's real. One, let's create change. Two, and let's get to where we want to be. One thing that we all don't have to waste is time. One of my mentors just talked about, like, if you are around people that waste time, you need to be nervous. You need to be tremoring a little bit, because at the end of the day, like, those that are making things happen do not waste time.
Yep.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty and really activate.
Yeah. And then I think a couple of things that I really like: get outside, move. I love that. Touch the grass, touch the earth. I've done a couple things on that myself where I'm a real grounder. You know, we don't get we don't get to touch the earth. We don't get to touch, a lot of people don't get in the ocean. A lot of people don't get on grass. A lot of people don't get in the mountain to breathe fresh air. And so our bodies aren't getting what we need so desperately, so desperately. Just the energy from your bare feet on grass just makes such a difference. And you said that. You said get your ass outside. That's huge. That's another thing that you don't see. It's like always the same stuff. Like I'm a journal freak. I got 87 journals. I keep seeing a new one, and my wife goes, "Dude, you got you."
Right.
But it was your progression of how you took us through the book, and that you encompass so much of the human, of our soul, of our trauma, of our nutrition, of our healing, of getting to the earth, and that's not normal in a self-help journal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, and the 21 days I totally get. We all know 21 days to break a habit, right? But I think the way you brought it was brilliant. It's a really good read. It's a really good book. It's a super journal.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love it, and just kind of speak to, what you were saying about getting outside. I think that the more modern our world becomes, the more primitive we kind of need to become as well. And so, like, yes, we love the luxury. I'm not going to act like I don't love AC, Wi-Fi,
I
and
think you even said a Louis bag in there too. Didn't you call out getting a Louis bag?
that AI, ChatGPT is incredible. All of the things that, our modern society, modern time is bringing is brilliant. However, I hear a lot like AI is going to take over. AI is going to take over. AI will never, AI will never trump the human connection. And the human connection is touch, it's faith, it's
Yeah.
it's living life through our senses. That I've heard the happiest people live life through their senses. So we're gonna sit here. I'm gonna talk to Gary. I'm gonna be present. I'm gonna hear what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually gonna, like, really live in that. When I drink my water, I'm gonna taste it to the maximum degree. Like, I'm gonna, touch this and really feel the texture. That's what makes us alive, and that's what makes us human. And that's what brings peace. The phone is not, the Wi-Fi is, and the EMF and all that, it's just not. But what can bring us peace is what has always been. And
Yeah.
that, and the simple things that nature provides, that heals, and that are created for our use. We don't use it, and it's free. That
It
if
is.
like, that's we're at a disservice to ourselves. Use the sun. Step out, let your third eye, breathe in, really feel, reset, and then come and attack what you need to attack. And you do it with inspired energy and inspired action. do things in 15 minutes that would have taken you 4 hours if you sat there and didn't give yourself a break to be one with it.
Yeah. And folks like you and I who burn hot, and we've got that energy and that passion and we push for stuff, you do need to recharge. You do need to step back. For me, it's the ocean. When I get in the ocean, forget about it. It takes me right back to my soul, right? I mean, I love to hike in the mountains too, get that fresh air, but when I'm in the ocean, it's man, it takes me right back. And what do you I mean, I'm sure the internet and I'm sure technology and stuff helps your business, especially for your creativity and for your music and to expand your business empires and stuff like that. But what do you think of the negative side of what's going on right now for our soul? I mean, what type of damage are we doing to ourselves with all this crazy anger and negativity?
Um, Overstimulation, and I we don't even realize we're overstimulated. That's the most like um part, you know? We're not even aware of the physiological effect of using social media as we do, and using our phones as we do. Even having the AirPods in, where the sound is going in, like I use these when I need to use them and then like, take them out, but then we have to clean our energy, like clear our energy fields, you know? So I think not knowing is the most is like the kind of scary part. Um and so it's about like living in both worlds. That's why I say we gotta live in both worlds.
Mhm.
Utilize it, for its benefits, but then step away from it. I don't sleep with my phone right next to me because I don't want to get into the habit. It's easy to do. It's easy to just grab your phone to look at the time and then end up checking your email and then you're on Instagram and then you're too easy. So like let me detach. I don't have a lot of notifications that come to my phone because I don't want to be at the mercy of the
Mhm.
device to be at my discretion. And I think that's the biggest thing. Even like, with just teaching like, our kids about these devices, like use the device. It's great. It's here for our benefit. But at some point it does limit us. And
I
so
mean,
we have
it's supposed to be a tool, right? I mean, it's supposed to be a tool for us to make our life better, but it's become our master. I mean, it's become our ruler, right? I mean, it's like it went from being it's going to free up time for us and give us more space, and it's gone the opposite, right? And it's just, in some of your, I don't remember what chapter it is. I'm sorry, but in your book, you call on that. You talk about you've got to take yourself back. You've got to pull away from stuff. You've got to heal yourself and work on that stuff. And I think when you make it purposeful, like you do, like you're like, dude, you got 21 days. And if you do what I'm saying and you make it purposeful, you're going to get there. Because people go, I can't change my life in 21 days. You go, yeah, but you can get yourself on the right path in 21 days,
for sure. It
right?
should the book is about cultivating the energy. People talk about manifestation. Oh, I'm gonna manifest. Oh, I'm gonna manifest. And that's like a big misconception because manifestation is like becoming the body, embodying the once you've embodied the energy and become the person that you need to be, whatever it is you wanted, it's gonna automatically come to you. It's not about the effect.
Mhm.
How it's about shifting the so like we can't be so focused on these outward things as the end all be all. Who do I need to become? What energy do I need to embody? What things do I need to think? How do I need to feel in order to get and be and attract what it is I desire? It's effortless. We already are manifesting, but our it's effortless. So we don't even have to study manifestation, but are you manifesting what you want? And if you're not manifesting what you want, it's you.
Well, the thing is, we're manifesting 70,000 negative thoughts a day, and we're beating the crap out of ourselves every day. I mean, 70, 80 thoughts a day in our brain, and most of them are negative. That's what we're manifesting. Oh, I can't do it. I can't get there. I can't be this. I can't do that. I can't eat healthy, this or that. It's like, well, that's what you're doing,
For sure.
right? And what you're doing is say, let me help you be purposeful, right? Let me help you start working on the steps to get there for yourself, because you have to start sometime, or you're going to stay right where you are, right? The definition of insanity: keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So what you're doing with the book, I love. It's like, look, let's get you there purposefully, right? But let's encompass all of you. Let's encompass all of you. And I love that. I love that. Are you going to follow this up? You got a writing bug now?
I don't write at this moment, but I agree. So that means that it's gonna come forward. I think that there's a lot more to do with this book, setting up book tour and getting out here and really speaking on it and, impacting, but there definitely will be more to come for.
Yeah. What about being a mom now? Has that given you a whole, not a different perspective, because your perspective is pretty right on, but I mean, has now you go, wow, I just created a human. No one, y- I can't create a human. All right. I mean, I can contribute, but I cannot make a human. It's just not going to happen. Right. So you just did that. Do you just go, wow?
For sure. Like looking at her is like amazing. But I thought the entire pregnancy was amazing. Like, every like the body, how your body expands, like it was like what's the word? It was like awe, like inspiring to me, like to just be part of the journey and be like, wow, and then to feel the baby kick, I was like, this is crazy. So it's really fun. I like being just very present with it, like he's, gonna be 6 weeks tomorrow. And so it's like, just be present. And I hear that, like, it goes so fast, it goes so fast. Cool. Well, if I'm just present in the day and just enjoy it, which I am immensely, and just be there and play and have fun. Like I love kids. Like I may love kids more than adults. Like
I do. Trust
yes,
me on that. And I had my son, and I'm so blessed. I mean, I've my past wife and I, we were a unit. It was the four of us. It was me, April, Chris, and Zach. That was it. You guys want to go to dinner? Nope. We're staying home with our kids. We had a little ranch with horses and goats and chickens and guinea pigs and snakes and cats and dogs and anything you can have, we had, right? But that was our unit.
yeah.
We turned off the television for 3 years. We said, we don't want television in our home. They couldn't have video games, only because we weren't mean parents, but we wanted to talk to you. It was dinner at 5 o'clock, phones were off. We sat at the table. So I'm very close with my son. But when his mom passed away, we had a little bit of weirdness here because, there was a lack of communication. He didn't know she was that sick, and she had cancer, and so there was a little weirdness for the first time in our lives. And now that he's got a son, when Jetson, his name's Jetson, when Jetson popped out and I saw his face, I knew right then, it's like, your life, you get it now, right, dude? You get it. Like, you never knew. As much as your mom and me said, I love you, right? And every night when they went to bed, I tucked him in bed every night. And I didn't know they knew this, but he told me he's going to start it with his son. I told them, I love you, your mom loves you, and you can do anything you want ever in your life. No one can keep you from doing whatever you want. I told him that every night of his life. And he told me, I go, I didn't even think you remembered that. But when you have a child now and you bring that precious angel into the world, it takes on a whole nother thing, doesn't it? It's
Def- Definitely. Um, Man, I can't even speak to it. I'm speechless. So beautiful, so magical.
yeah, it is. So what's your mama now? And you've got the book out, and when you start working on the book and stuff, what are you already thinking about? What's the next thing? Is there a next thing for music? Is there a next thing for writing? Is there a next thing for your counseling? Or are you just going to take some time and just be a mama for a while?
Um, that's funny. Um, I definitely am allowing myself the space to just come into life um with ease. I took the entire month of August off. The book came out and I delivered my baby in July. And all throughout my pregnancy, I performed, up until I was about 9 months. So I'm definitely a mover. And so that all of my projects, I've got stuff that I was working on while I was pregnant that is actually going to be dropping this month. So things are starting to come forth. I'm just kind of just moving in flow. Like I said, I was working on a lot prior to, so that stuff has to come out. It's time for distribution. Um, so I'm not gonna stop at all because I think that one, my daughter lit a fire. Right? So my daughter lit a fire in me, um, and made me like super creative. And I love the Kardashians, and the reason I do is because they take their kids to the meeting. The kids are there with them, learning, starting their own businesses, doing their own things, and like that's what I want to bring forth to my kids. Like you told your son, you can do and be whoever you want to be, right? You can do whatever you want to do. It's all inside of you. So I want her to know that from seeing that, right? I'm not putting any like, time to anything, and I'm definitely have become a lot more intentional and in pace as well, and then also bringing on some other people to help execute these things, in the way that I want to, is for scaling, but got to see it in action, right? Can't, can't talk about it, not be about it. So
Yeah. And you know what? And my son is walking walking in the way we raised him. People would say, "Oh man, now that I got kids, I can't do this, can't do that." I'm like, dude, I had Christopher on a surfboard in Hawaii at 6 months old. I mean, we dragged them through Europe. We just and we taught him like, look, dude, you do not have a suitcase. All right. You got to carry on. All right. And we tree travel light. We go right. And so that's how she travels now. But there's no such thing as kids hold you down or drag you down. It's like you just drag them with you. That's why
all
they have backpacks for kids.
all like I love that you say that because like even right now I'm 6 weeks, right? Like 6 weeks postpartum, and my friend had an event and it's her birthday. And I'm like, and I think it was like 4 weeks. I was like, I gotta go. So I'm there. And I linked up with, some friends to have lunch. And, she's a little young right now, so I don't want to particularly take her to those places, right?
Yeah.
But like that's but and it's so funny to me, she won't go to sleep
Yeah.
now. With her dad, she'll go to sleep. But I'm like, girl dog. Like and everything. So can my I'm like, you know, that's just that. So I feel the same way. And that's how I was raised too. We traveled, we moved about the world. Like kids can't learn and create their own from, living inside a bubble. No, they need to experience the world and see themselves and experience themselves and become, these independent souls. I'm just here to be a vessel that help you out. But
I
I want
love it.
them to think their own thoughts and make their own decisions and, and move out here in the world like with strength and confidence.
Yeah. I have a good feeling that Soul is in really good hands with her mom. I think my son is in the Air Force and your father was in the Air Force. My son's, I think, on year 10 or 12. He's been in there for a while and he's moved around, and now he's married and he's now settled at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. So he's finally settling down a little bit. But yeah, he traveled a lot. And I imagine you traveled with your father. Did your father move around a lot as a kid?
And we lived in Upper Marlboro, and my dad worked at Andrews Air Force Base.
There you go.
So
It's
yeah,
big. It is a big, big. Well, now
it's
they call it Joint Andrews or something stupid, but we still call it Andrews Air Force Base. Yeah,
got
because we're Air Force. You can't
it.
take our name away. Well, I love this book. Be Your Own Peace, a 21-day workable guide for healing, self-love, and connection with others. And I mean, I got goosebumps again. I hate that. Just like, mm, I've gone through it, and I'm weird. People make fun of me because I'm a highlighter. You can't see it, but I mean, I read everything with a highlighter
Yes, I'm a highlighter too. Exactly.
because you want to go back sometimes and remember what. And the great thing is when you go back because I got a thing for books, but I'll go back and pick up a book I read 10 years ago and see what I highlighted and go, I wouldn't even highlight that today.
I like that. Yes, exactly.
Right? You go either I grew or I shrank.
Right.
But so in the book, you've got it's not just a journal. Oh man, I wish I could see that better. But I don't want to show it off anyways. I want people to buy it. But it's not just a journal, it's not just inspirational, but it's actually functional. What did I do today? What am I grateful for? What are my affirmations? What's my mood? I love that with the happy, sad faces. So it's I like to call it a working, not just a journal, but a working document. A living working document is what you created,
Thank you.
And I just but all the way through from when you just start right there, right out the gate, man, smack in the face with trauma. And I mean, I highlighted a whole bunch of that. Yeah, like just right here, it's just a complete trust. There will be more unlearning to do here than learning. There will be more unlearning than learning. And I just go, all right, I'm gonna like this book. So I just want to thank you. I just I'm gonna put this out there. I want to get it to whomever we can show it to. I'm gonna put a nice link on there. It says, here's where you can get it. Here's where I got it. You've got to get this book. Because Phoenix is a real deal and she'll help you. She will help you. And I like Charmer. I
Hey,
put Charmer on my playlist. That's a good song. Charmer's good.
love it. Thank you.
Well,
Babe.
I again, I'm grateful for you being here, and I always like to sign off and let you have the last word, and I always like to just ask people, I don't give you a heads up, but I always like to ask people as we leave. Um, you're into a lot of stuff. You've got an amazing mind and an amazing soul. I feel it. But on any type of message, wherever your mind goes, whether it's the music, whether it's motherhood, whether it's giving, whatever, it's working with the teens and counseling women and stuff. I mean, if you were to leave us with a last thought that you just thought, I'd kind of like people to know this, or just a last thought you have. What's the last thought you want to leave us with?
I'm hearing purpose, hearing the word purpose. Tell a story. I remember having a session with my voice coach, and we were talking about life purpose. And I do believe that people are searching for purpose and they're searching for their life purpose and like kind of, it's kind of glorified like it's in this like little pill. And my life purpose is this, right? So we did an exercise and I determined that my life purpose was using my voice to uplift, inspire, and um, assist people. So that was liberating to me, right? Because it wasn't in this, bubble or defined by title or defined by like, what it was. It was using my voice. I can use my voice talking to Gary. I can use my voice. I can use my voice to uplift my neighbor. I can use my voice to uplift while I'm on the stage. And it was liberating because I wasn't locked into the title or what I needed to be, just who I need, what I need to do. So I inspire anyone that's listening today, you can release yourself from the title and just identify like, what is it? What are the gifts? Because there may be many, right? Okay, too. What are the gifts that God bestowed upon you in just one sentence? That's not defined by your title, but just what is the gift? And do that every day, every moment that you can, every hour that you can. And it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you're in front of. Just do then you're living your purpose. And that's where the liberation, not the accolade. And that's fun and that comes. But just live your purpose every day and every moment. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's what your book does. It leads you to thinking about your purpose, and living your better life, trying to heal yourself. I love that word self-love that you put on the cover because, man, we just beat each other up. We just love to beat ourselves up. We beat ourselves up. There's just not enough self-love. And all the stuff that we put out there that's fake just makes it worse. Just makes it worse. So, all right, my friend, you are beautiful. Thank you so much. I love this. How can people reach you? Where should we go to find you? I'm going to post about where to get the book and stuff, but if they want to reach out to Phoenix Soul, how do we get you?
You know what? The best way is through social media, Instagram. You guys go and follow me on Instagram at I am Pink Soul. That's SOHL. And come into the community. We're growing. There are going to be a number of different things that are happening, and we can just definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. This was fun. And we both love Dr. David. So
Yeah,
we'll be talking to him too. He's going to get me on his whiteboard. I know he's going to get me on his whiteboard. So, all right, my friend.
don't be afraid of it. You're going to be so good afterwards. Trust
Oh, I can't wait. All right. Well, you go kiss Soul. You give that baby some love, and I will see you next time.
me.
Thank you, my dear. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of What If You Could podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, and give us any feedback. We'd love to hear it. And remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. See you next time.